And right now, life is teaching us that we need Medicare for all, universal health care, because 300,000 people have died. That's why. I just lost my dad a couple of weeks ago to a cancer that maybe if we would have caught it a little bit earlier, maybe, just maybe, he'd still be alive. Maybe. It's a nagging feeling to know that. My mom right now, instead of mourning over his death, she's having to deal with all of the bills that have piled up because of the expenses that were not covered. I support holding the vote. I support holding the vote. I said I support holding the vote. I supported holding the vote back when Biden was running. Police brutality, mass incarceration, a contract with Black America, income inequality, the racial wealth gap. I supported it then. If I'm not your ally, who is? A Black guy who has pushed back, made countless videos about Obama, Clyburn, Kamala Harris. I mean, what else do I have to do? I'm ostracized by all of the contemporary Blacks in media, so I am your ally. Am I a perfect ally? Who knows? But are you my ally? I don't know. I want us to hold the vote because I will never, ever, well, that's not true. If you're going to take a man out and lynch him, you won't give him due process, I won't stand with you. I would never, ever stand against the people. But if the people are going to do some crazy, they're going to do some crazy thing that I can't consciously wrap my head around, that I can't ethically get with, I don't care. Come for me, because I'm not going to support it. And I had to be sure that this thing that people want to do, I had to be sure that it was rooted, that it made sense, because the people that I'm answering to, people in my family, people, my kids, my wife, my mom, myself, my mirror, all those things. I had to be making sure that I was making the right decision. Not just to go along and to get along with people to make it easier so that I can get more viewership or that I can grow or that things will be easy. I'll just fall in line. I had to be sure that it was the right thing for me. Maybe that took a little bit too long for some people. Don't worry, we still don't have Medicare for All. You didn't miss it. The fight's still going on. We still got an opportunity to fight for it. I didn't ruin the movement. Some of this has been over the top. But know this, just even if we are lucky enough, fortunate enough, even if we pushed all the squad members to withhold a vote from Nancy Pelosi, that don't mean we're going to get Medicare for All. And it wasn't until I heard it said in a way that it resonated with me that it's not about that. You know, there are a lot of people like me that would be on your side once they understand it's not about getting Medicare for All tomorrow or with Nancy Pelosi or January 3rd or even in the next 2 weeks. I mean, we wish we could. It's about seizing the moment of COVID-19. That's what it's all about. Lead with that instead of lead with pejoratives, rhetoric, and cursing out women of color, Black women. That would help. That would help me a lot. Because my inbox is not just flooded with white people pissed off that I don't support certain people, but also by Black women who are wondering, why the hell is this person or these people, or why are you even considering joining something that focuses on lambasting and degrading the most marginalized people in our society, Black women? Second only if seconded, I don't know, we're right neck and neck with Black men on this. They're like, why Tim Black? Why would you do that? And I know that's not important to you to vet this out, but it's important to me. That's my reputation. That's my brand. That's my thing. That's what I'm building. And I can't have people thinking that I don't care about that I don't consider that. That when you post pictures like this, and they look at it, and they see Pramila Jayapal, Jamal Bowman, AOC, Corey Bush, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, and Ro Khanna, when that's what they see, well, they become a little suspicious. Because there are a lot of other people that could be on that freaking list. And instead of explaining and having a cogent conversation, a conversation where we examine this, where we talk about it, where we break it down, Johnson, and not vilify each other and call each other grifters and sellouts and morons and bootlickers and all these things, then we could come to an understanding of really what the focus is and why those people are there. Those people, to my people that are wondering why I'm willing to do this, is because the reason why those people are on that page is because those people are the best. And sometimes when you're the best, responsibility calls for you, man. Sometimes when you are of the best, when you're the best of the best, when you are the people that we count on, when you are the people that we trust, then that's a lot of responsibility. And it's unfair that when you are that person, you're so great, you've earned the right to be overly scrutinized. You've earned the right to be in the hot seat because you fucking matter. Because you matter, because you are important, because you are a leader, because people do look up to you. And I know it's not fair because Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush especially, they ain't even picked out coasters yet for their tables. I mean, they just got to D.C. and they're on a list of people that got to do this or they need to get gone. And to some people that didn't make much sense, and I had to really examine this. These are people I brought on my show. These are people I consider friends of the 10 Black Show, people that I vetted, people that I thought were strong progressives. I know it doesn't matter to some people, but it mattered to me because I don't do that without good cause. Without good cause, man. So to Cori Bush, so to Jamal Bowman, and to the rest of the progressive squad, you matter, and it's important, and that's why you're chosen. And it's not to marginalize you. And I can't speak for everyone, but this moment right here is so important. It's so important because we could live another 100 years and we may not get this moment again. So though it's not perfect, though it's not everything I want it to be, and though the voices behind it may not be perfect, with a little bow on it, that don't matter right now because this is a moment in time. It's a little window in time right now. And we got to seize that opportunity where the whole world's looking. It's similar to a scene in that Bruce Willis movie, you know, the one with the end of the world coming in. I think Cuba Gooding Jr. was in it. I think it was. Or was it Will Smith? It was one of them. It was one of those end of the world. No, I'm getting the one with Cuba Gooding. That's with Dustin Hoffman. No, the one with Will Smith and the one with, and that one. The aliens are coming. They got just one shot at it. And you got to hit the thing and drop the bomb and empty the payload into the thing. And if you don't do it right now, then the world is done. And no, it's not exactly that way because it's not the world, but it's close to it, man. And it's some people's world, and it's some people's literally some people's worlds are at the brink right now. We got COVID-19, so all the bullshit aside, my pride, my ego, my personal thoughts, my difficulties, my concerns, my qualms with people over the years, whatever it was. Fuck it. With a caveat. Recognize that you live in America, progressives. Recognize that in America there's a baggage called racism and discrimination that we've been dealing with. Us, Black people, have been dealing with. And it hasn't changed. It's got different names. It's morphed. And through the generations and through the decades. It's taken different forms. But it still exists now. Be a little conscious, a little bit aware of the way that you speak. It'll be a lot easier to get buy-in on these movements. The way you say a thing matters. Having different voices in it, that would help. I mean, if it's not just about getting all the credit, how about having different spokespeople for the issue so that we get more eyeballs on it, so that we get it told in different ways, so that it will resonate with different people, so that other people and other groups can join us in, because if the idea is that we need more people, well, maybe we need more spokespeople for that issue so that it'll be more receptive, or other people will be more receptive to the issue. I mean, if it's really about the issue, not about ourselves. I mean, it is about the issue, not about ourselves, right? Hold the vote. I support hold the vote. I support hold the vote. Gotta keep saying it. People may have just tuned in. What's Tim doing? He's making excuses. He's talking about other stuff. We don't care about black people. This is about class, not race. This is about all of us. Hold the vote, hold the vote, hold the vote. Hell, you had me at hello, but hold the vote. I want Nancy Pelosi gone since I ever paid any attention to politics. What are we talking about? There's nothing to argue with that. It was just the way in which we were wrongly, I thought, it looked to me like we were going to primary Cory Bush and Jamal Bowman and get rid of Ilhan Omar and get rid of Rashida Tlaib and get rid of this person, that person. I wasn't prepared to do that. I didn't have enough information to even think about doing that. What if they buckle? What if they don't do exactly what we want them to do? What if, I don't know, some people don't even understand Washington. You ever went to a desk? I've worked in Washington. You ever been to Washington? Well, you haven't. If you haven't, you haven't. So it's a rhetorical question, but I've worked in a government contract office where there was a black woman in that office who pissed off one of the directors, and that director made her sit in a desk facing the wall for a year. She couldn't leave because she had a pension. She couldn't just quit her job. She had a family at home. This is Washington, and this is the type of dehumanizing shit they do. I wonder what it's like in Congress. It may be similar. And I know they chose to do it. It's not like they've been drafted. I get that. But I understand the mechanisms that they use to crush your spirit in this town. So, but anyway, hey, this is my thought process of the last couple of days, Wolfpack. Wolfpack, here it is. Sorry it's that way. I'm sorry it sucks, but you got to do this anyway. Because that window of opportunity, the window of opportunity is too small. We ain't got time. Fuck your feelings. Sorry. The job was dangerous when you took it. What can I tell you? I just want people to know I've considered it all. I want you to consider it all. And then we move forward anyway. People should weigh things, consider them carefully. It's not a flippant thing. This is important. It's worth the conversation. I've seen people talk about this relentlessly, doing multiple videos after videos. Have they really addressed this issue from a black perspective? I don't know. That's my role. I heard it said today that some people have different roles in this. David Sirota has a role, and this person has a role, and that person has a role. This is my role, baby. So, I support holding the vote. The way things are going, I may never, ever vote for another Democrat. I have no idea. I haven't in the last two general elections. I don't know. I could probably go the rest of my life without voting for one if they don't earn my vote. I'm all aboard that. I advocate for that. I fight for that. I push that. That's the reason why I even do this job. Medicare For All is too important for me to sit on the sidelines, and damn sure don't want another, the next pandemic, I guess when the next pandemic comes, we'll work harder. No, you're not going to catch me slipping like that. No. I don't want there to be another pandemic for us to get the ability to say this. I wish there wouldn't have to be another George Floyd, though. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wish there wouldn't have to be another Breonna Taylor. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wish 35% of black kids weren't living under poverty. You understand what I'm saying? I wish that wouldn't have to continue. So some maybe wouldn't have to have the biggest uprising since the civil rights movement, where people are in the streets for against police brutality and racial injustice. I thought that was a movement then too. That was a moment there. There was a window there. And we didn't have this fury. So yeah, that pisses me off. But I can't let my anger for that missed opportunity that appears to be a missed opportunity. I don't remember anybody else I don't remember talks to primary people who didn't pray, who did not fight strong enough to introduce legislation to thwart mass incarceration. Qualified immunity. We could do this all day, guys. We could join forces and lock arms and do this shit today. But I do understand that's to be talked about later, because for right now, this small window of opportunity, we got COVID-19. So, I'm down with it. I support it. I hope it, I don't know what this is going to mean. I don't know if it's going to work, but now I know it don't have to work, Tim. Sometimes it's not about it working. It's about moving the ball a couple more feet down the road. It's about moving the sticks. Football, every play is not about scoring a touchdown. Sometimes it's about getting a first down. So to my sports friends, this is first down. First down is making Nancy Pelosi give the Progressive Caucus something for their votes. We get that's first down. And that thing that we want, it seems we want, is to get Medicare for All, a vote for Medicare for All. I understand there are other things that people want as well. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to put some stuff on the screen. And I'm almost done with this. But no, man, know that this is serious business. And that I feel your pain. I know you feel my pain. My friends have grieved with me over the loss of my dad. I know you. Some of you have already been there and back. Some of you are there now. But I know you know what I've been going through. And I respectfully may not know what you've been going through, but I can only imagine what it's like for you. If it's anything similar to what my family's been having to endure. So, it bothers the hell out of me that people think that I support Nancy Pelosi. There was some hateful shit said, man. But you know what? I'm going to say it's my fault because I need to do a better job of explaining myself and not letting others define me. In a tweet. That's my bad. Just know, I want Medicare for All like you want water. I wish I could go back in the time machine and have it a couple years ago. Maybe Father's Day, or maybe I wouldn't be looking at an obituary in my mailbox for my dad. But, what the hell? We don't care. We just assume other people have nothing going on. Everybody's got something going on, all of us. And right now, all of us need to wrap all that pain and anger up, and we need to put it into this. So, the urgency of COVID-19 only maybe taking a little bit of air out the room is the stimulus. There are people looking at paychecks, and you know how it is with healthcare. People rarely know how bad or shitty our healthcare industry is until they get sick. That's when we find out. Till then, people walk around like they're invincible, man. Till they lose someone. Till someone has a condition or a serious illness. Then all of a sudden, they realize how horrible it is. Then they realize how these politicians give us this lip service. Then they look around and they notice, wow, Australia, Sweden, Germany all have health care, universal health care, some form of it. Wow, just not us. What are we going to do if it doesn't happen? What will we do if it doesn't happen? What if Nancy Pelosi doesn't buckle? Well, we cross that bridge when we get to it, Johnson. What else can you do? You can't sit around second-guessing the plan. I don't know. You got a better plan? Anybody got a better plan? I don't have a better plan. If I had a better plan, I would present it to you. Don't vote for the sons of bitches unless they're going to do what you need them to do. That's the plan we tell each other. It's the plan I've been telling black folk since I started this channel. Hold your damn vote unless they give us something for our vote. Well, now the squad's going to have to do the same thing, and we're going to impress upon them the urgency and the need for them to do the same thing. Hold your vote until Nancy gives us something, not you, us, because that's what you're there for to do. Those who are concerned about these progressives, that new progressive wave that came into Congress, you don't want to see them unable to fight the fight for you. A lot of them live or reside in or from very progressive or very liberal districts where their positions or their opportunities are not really that much up for grabs, or they're going to be good for the most part, I think. That's what I've been told. Most of them are pretty safe and very safe blue districts. So I hope that's true. Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and AOC. Hope that holds true for Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush and Ro Khanna and the rest. Ain't nobody perfect, man. None of these people are perfect, but right now, damn it, it's the perfect time. And with that perfect time, we got to make that move. Once again, I'm going to close this rant out with saying, hold the vote. Hold the vote. I have to support it. I would never be on the side of Nancy Pelosi against my people. I would never do that. And that's not what's happening. And I'm sorry if I led you to believe I supported Nancy Pelosi. I can't imagine that's how you felt based on what I've said, but you never know. That's how it's been sort of spread around. Some people got that. If you don't like this, then you must like that. Like, if you don't joke with the Democrats, you must be a Trump supporter. It was that type of very snap judgment that I couldn't appreciate. I've been dealing with that for the last 5 years. Don't vote Hillary, you must be a Trumper. Well, that wasn't the case, guys. And I'm glad we cleared it up. I'm glad we understand where we are. Tim Black's Willpack, I got your back. Ain't nothing changed. I know a lot of you have emailed me privately. We've had this conversation. This is for anybody who hasn't been a part of it, who has a life, has to go to work, has to take care of the kids, hasn't been able to stay glued to Twitter and Facebook. It's for everyone else who doesn't know. Hold your vote. Now let me go out and tell my community, to the best of my ability, why it's important for us not to care what color these people are. The reason why we got to do this, because people are dying right now. And this is our best opportunity. And as my mom says, if you don't learn, life will teach you. And right now, life is teaching us that we need Medicare for all, universal health care, because 300,000 people have died. That's why. Because, I don't know, how many millions of people, tens of millions of people have lost their health coverage? That's why. This sells itself, Johnson. It's a cold in the winter. Suntan lotion for my white friends in the summer. A Phife Dawg Q-Tip album for Kamala Harris during her school days. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. And speaking of Kamala Harris, it also took me to look at this, guys. And this is just extra. Kamala or Andrea, either one, whoever clips this, guys, this is just extra. For the first time, I knew what it was like for all the people who have written me over the last couple of years saying, why do you go so hard at Kamala Harris? And I was like, what? You don't know about this woman? This woman is horrible. This woman locked up more black people than slavery. This woman is a shapeshifter. She's a chameleon. She changes when she's been progressive and liberal and conservative. She's America's top cop. What's wrong with you? Forget what color she is. Do like this. Do like this and then read her stuff. Don't look at her. Look at the package. Look at what she's done. Don't look at her. And for the first time since I've been doing this, I had to do that and say, don't look at Ilhan Omar, don't look at AOC, don't look at anybody. Just look at what they've been doing and look what they need to do. Look at what they need to do. And look at the 300,000 people dying, Johnson. Look at that number. Look at this opportunity. And look at this small window. Now squeeze your ass through the window and get in there and get it done. So that's why I'm doing this. And it doesn't matter if people say, you bouncy, you said this thing, like you said that thing. Man, fuck me, man. Who cares? It's about anybody that I can influence to be on board on this. And it's also not missed on me while I was standing up and thinking I'm up here trying to protect the people that I think they're going to fight for progressive values, that none of them hit me up and say, hey, Tim, thank you for being attacked and being jumped on by all these people. Thank you. None of them contacted me. So I would like to shout out those people that did contact me, like Jen Perlman. Thank you, Jen. Wish I had a longer list. I'm talking about blue checkmark people that contacted me. She caught hell too, because people didn't want to hear this. Oh, and Jeff Waldorf from TYT, who contacted me and publicly said, and for Ron Cousins, who contacted me directly and said, you know, with something to lose, with blue checkmarks who can get bombarded and chased off their, you know, for even saying, Tim's not a sellout, he just wanted more information. He wants Medicare for all. Look at his content. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. And anybody whose name I missed in that, I apologize, but those names spring to the front of my brain, and I'm getting old, so you're going to have to excuse me. When they ask you why we need to do it now, I tell them COVID-19 is why. When they ask you, are we going to be able to get it done? What if we can't get it done? We're going to lose collateral. We ain't got no collateral to lose, Johnson. We're already at the bottom of the barrel, man. We're already as low as you can go. I can't get no lower. That's where we already are. We're a laughing stock to them. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer don't respect us already. What the hell do we got to lose? Why this group of people? Why these black women? Why these women of color? Why this black man who just showed up yesterday, first to the job, first hired, first fired? Why him? Well, because it just so happens they're the ones that we trust most. These are the ones who are most active. These are the ones who give us the impression to actually get this thing done. Why AOC? It's not because she's a brown person. It's not because she's short. Not because she's from New York. It's because her profile is huge. And with your profile being huge comes a lot of responsibility. And unfortunately, that's the way it works. With covers of magazines and Netflix specials and all the other great things, and appearances on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or whatever it is, backing up the roots or going on the Seuss and Miro or whatever the hell you've been doing. Well, with that comes this. You get to be the champion for us, whether you like it or not. And what you should do is wrap yourself in it, embrace it, and say, ta-da! Because you got no choice. You might as well take it and embrace it. That's it. That's what you got to do. Or either you cower from the moment, you go and hide, lose your base.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to timblacktv.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.